We'll chant Om 3 times, followed by the invocation shlokas. Om. ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः समस्तजनकल्याणे निरतं करुणामयं नमामि चिन्मयं देवं सद्गुरुं ब्रह्मविद्वरं सद्गुरुं ब्रह्मविद्वरम्. As we are doing Upadesha Sara, we'll chant uh, the Mangalachanam Shloka. One of you please go off mute and repeat after me. Antaryascha bahirvidhutatimiram
अन्तर्यश्च बहिर्विदूततिमिरम्
ज्योतिर्मयं शाश्वतम्
ज्योतिर्मयं शाश्वतम्
स्थानं प्राप्य विराजते विनमताम्
स्थानं प्राप्य विराजते विनमताम्
अज्ञानमुन्मूलयन्
अज्ञानमुन्मूलयन्
पश्यन् विश्वमपीदमुल्लसति यो
पश्यन् विश्वमपीतं मुलसति यो
विश्वस्य पारे परः
विश्वस्य पारे परः
तस्मै श्रीरमणाय लोकगुरवे
तस्मै श्रीरमणाय लोकगुरवे
शोकस्य हन्त्रे नमः.
शोकस्य हन्त्रे नमः.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So here we are studying the Vichara Marga. Vichara Marga, or uh, the uh, the path of inquiry. Now, the essence of Vichara Marga is what he's saying is be consciousness of what this mind is. Yep. So, now be conscious of what this mind is, meaning it's not like, oh, be aware of the mind. It is not asking like, what this mind is, understand the mind, etc., or improve the mind. Okay? Because that's what like most of our self-help books, etc., they all do is try to understand your mind, control your mind, etc. But in here, Dharmashiji is saying, just look at the mind and try to see what it is. Okay. Why is saying like this? Because the very process of figuring out what this mind is, meaning this through this process where like we are not intellectualizing means we are not talking about, oh, this mind is like this or like that, no philosophy, no grandeur statements, etc. Just look at this mind and this mind ends. Why? Because what Ramana Maharshi says is mind is an illusion. Now any illusion, if you look straight into it, it doesn't last. Say for example, if you're a little smart, okay, and there is a magician who is doing some kind of a card tricks. The person does a card trick. Say, oh wow, this is a cool trick. You like it. Now you say, show me again, do it again, do it again. A smart magician would not repeat that card trick with you right away. Why? Because now you know what the outcome is. So now you are looking at what he's actually doing, and you're looking at the things that you missed in the first time. And card tricks are nothing but sleight of hands. So if not in second time, in third or fourth time, you're going to catch on to it. That's why a good magician doesn't repeat his trick on the same audience right away. So, so in the same way, this illusion also, once we are paying attention to it, it disappears. Now, when we don't have our attention is not there, then this illusion doesn't leave. Okay, and it continues to exist. So this illusion is not like, okay, if this illusion is there and oh, I want to improve this illusion, no. Okay, I want to work with this illusion, no. I want to fight with this illusion, no. Okay, so uh, now you think about the oft quoted statement in our Shastras about this illusion is what is the illusion that we always talk in Vedanta is Sarparadyu Bhranti, meaning superimposing snake on rope. Now, this this snake is poisonous. I want I want a non-poisonous snake. What happened? This snake is too dangerous. I want to kill it. Can you kill the snake? There's no snake. How can you kill the snake? Okay. You cannot, oh, I want to tame this snake. I want to defang this snake. No matter what you think, none of those things are going to happen. And when you properly bring the light and look at that, snake disappears and rope remains. So this is the idea, right? So now this attention on illusion is expressed through this inquiry in when he said, Manasam tu kim margane krute naiva manasam marga arjavat. So when we look at this mind carefully, it ends. This is the direct path. And the problem is because of inattention. So direct method is to pay attention. Now, the question is that we may not be concerned that, hey, we tried and it did not work out. Okay. Because we cannot pay attention for a long time. So, so now what Ravana Maharshi said told us is what is mind? He himself did this analysis for us, right? And he said it is a flow of thoughts. And these flow of thoughts are divided into two categories, two components. One is called as ahamvritti, the central core thought in every thought, and the other aspect is idam vritti. It is a superficial thought, not superficial, but something that is always changing, right? So this idam vritti, because idam vritti is a thought about an object. An object, it could be a physical object or a mental object or an idea or whatever, right? And these are always changing, meaning not necessarily the thoughts are changing about it, but when a new thought comes, the previous thought fades away. So if I'm thinking about an elephant, and then now I start thinking about a monkey, the elephant has faded away from my thought. So the elephant that is replaced by monkey, which is replaced by a rabbit, which is replaced by a cow, no, not necessarily animals alone, right? Food, whatever, right? Wife, kids, all of those, they all keep on changing, but I thought is remaining. And so this idam vritti is dependent on aham vritti. So only when aham vritti is there, idam vritti is possible. Okay? Only when I thought is there, the other aspect of the thoughts are possible. So then, because of that, what Ramana Maharshi says is this aham vritti, this I thought, is the parent for all idam vrittis, right? So because this is the core, and so what Ramana Maharshi says is that okay, so let us assume, not let's assume, he kind of says that this aham vritti is essentially the mind. Okay, in Vedanta, if you study the Vedanta of Shankaracharya ji okay, or like Upanishads, etc., this we call it as this Ahamvritti, we call it as Ahankara. Because in our Vedantic literature that comes from the Parampara, we say that our mind, typically what we consider as mind, has four components. We call it as Antakarana, Manaha, Buddhi, Chitta, and Ahankara. Manaha is mind, Chitta is Buddhi is intellect, Chitta is memories, and Ahankara is the the feeling that I am the doer and experiencer. I did this. So that I-ness is called as Ahankara. So where in there, Manas, mind is simply emotions. In here, when he says mind, it is not just emotions, he is talking about Ahankara. So there is a little bit of a mapping we need to do. Okay. So now what Ramana Maharshi is saying is, let us pay attention to Aham Vritti. How do I pay attention? Ask the question, who am I? What is this Aham? Okay, not who am I? Sorry. Who is this Aham? And where is it coming from? What is its life? How does it survive? When we start undertaking this exploration, and when I start looking at the validity of this thought, there are two things that are there. One is that when we look at ourselves, right, we are made up of two components again, right? We have Atma and Anatma. Okay, Atma is our true self. Anatma is everything else. What is Anatma? We have, from our Vedantic perspective, we have three bodies: Sthula Sharira, Sukshma Sharira, and Karana Sharira. Sthula Sharira is this physical body. Sukshma Sharira is the subtle body. Subtle body consists of five organs of action. Organs means the faculties of action. Okay. Because someone may have a hand, but they don't have any power to move the hand. Okay. So that means that the faculty of movement is not there. Okay. So we are not referring to the physical organ, rather the faculty that can help this hand move. So like that, five karmendriyas, organs of action, five jnanendriyas, organs of perception, and this mana, buddhi, chitta, ahankara. So 14 of them, and then five pranas, right? The prana, apana, samana, udana, vyana, right? So all of those five pranas, all of them put together, these are called subtle body. And the subtle body and the physical body has come because of Karana Sharira, or the causal body, the cause for other two. What does causal body contain? All our vasanas, all our karma phala. Karma phala means both papa, punya, whatever results that actions that we have done in the past, the results of all of that I had to experience, all of that is there in this Karna Sharira, the causal body, because of which we are taking one birth after other birth. Now all of these, Karna Sharira, Sukshma Sharira, and Sthula Sharira, all of these are inert. So when we say body, usually in Vedanta, whenever we say body, we are referring to all these three bodies. So now the question is, this aham vritti, where is it coming from? This thought at I, where is this coming from? Is it emanating from the body? That is the first question. Now, body is inert. So aham vritti cannot be based on this body, because body is inert and body is experienced. Okay. Now, is it then in this case, ahamvritti, is it, it is also not mind also, because I can experience my mind, meaning like, say, for example, I'm not feeling well today. I mean, like, I'm not feeling good today. Why? I'm dull because this morning my manager has yelled at me. But once I came home, my kid came runningly to me and showed the progress card. Usually he gets B's and C's. Today he got A. So I'm again like my mood has changed, elevated, right? So I can see my mind also. Then if this I thought cannot originate from the mind, this I thought cannot originate from this body, is it originating from the self, Atma? Now, I cannot say that it originates in self either. Why? Because self is unchanging. Okay. So self is akhanda, ananda, okay, Satchitananda, and it is homogeneous essentially, and it is avyaya. Avyaya means imperishable. Okay. And it is also not subject to any change. When it is not subject to any change, what can come out of this self? Okay. So this I thought cannot be coming from the self either. So now like this, once you start analyzing, what happens is that you understand this I thought doesn't belong to mind, it doesn't belong to body, it cannot belong to my true self either. So, but since I haven't done this exploration consciously, in the seat of meditation, in the seat of inquiry, I realized that that the I thought doesn't belong to self or to the body. Okay. So that's why Ram Mahashiji said in the next shloka, when this clarity arises, I patatyaham, this I thought ends. Right? So through this Nija Vicharanam, meaning which is Atma Vichara, inquiry into self. Okay. And then now, the important thing though is that this self-inquiry is to be practiced. It has to be done and practiced. It is not something to think about, because thinking about it, writing about it, or discussing it, it actually all of them sidetracks from our main path of exploring. And this is a trap that many students of Vedanta will fall into. Okay. So our teacher, like whatever I'm telling you, it's all based on what my teacher Swami Advainandaji taught us in our course. And this program is primarily meant, whatever I'm doing is primarily meant for my own reflection on my notes. So everything that is being said by Swami Advainandaji, right? So Swami Advainandaji was telling us that don't fall into trap. Vedanta is not intellectual satisfaction. It's not for not an intellectual satisfaction. So in this regard, he actually quoted a shloka from Vivek Chudamani, which says, Vagvaikhari, Shabdajhari, Shastra Vyakhyana Kaushalam, Vaidushyam, Vidusham, Tadvad, Bhuktaye, Natu, Muktaye. So what basically this is that the ability to speak eloquently, the uh, proficiency in the language, words, and ability to analyze all of that, right? They're all tadvat bhuktaye. It is only meant for food, but it is not natu muktaye. None of them are going to give liberation. Now, bhuktaye, please don't take it as only like food, as in physical food. Sometimes what we want is that we want name and fame. So for name and fame, we do we may talk about Vedanta, etc. Right? All of that, like you can get. Okay, you if you want name and fame, you may get name and fame. You may get I may get name and fame. I may get food, etc. But it is not going to help with liberation. Why? Because this idea, this Vedanta, has to be internalized, and we have to do our sadhana of self-inquiry. Okay, so is what he was saying, right? So now I have to understand the form of I by myself and not by understand. And this is when the I falls, then what happens is that I don't become shunya, as in like, oh, so the I thought has fell down. Okay, what is going to happen to me? Am I going to be alive or not? No, there's no destruction in me because this aham vritti is not a fact at the level of self or at the level of body. So how can this aham vritti can be real? So, but on the other hand, what happens is when this aham vritti falls down, the real aham comes shining forth, right? So, so then with that, okay, so this um, Ravan Maharshi is saying that, okay, so there are two types of ahams. One is mind-based aham, which is what we are talking about, aham vritti, manogatam aham, and then the atmagatam aham, the real atma. Okay, that. Now, as long as this manogatam aham, meaning this aham vritti is there, the real atma is always as if it is enveloped or covered by this manogatam aham. When you remove this, when this veil is removed, then the atma is revealed. Okay, so just like there is we took the example of snake and rope, right? So as long as you see snake, you cannot see rope. You cannot have both snake and rope. Okay. So once you see rope, you can never see snake. Okay. So the thing is that the inquiry, the path of light, okay, the path of inquiry, by turning on the light and seeing it carefully, then we know it is not snake, but it is rope. Now, this is from a Vedanta perspective. Just as coming to US and staying in US, we think about a lot of legal disclaimers. Okay. Now, if you see a snake, okay, don't get close to it with light saying that, okay, is it really a snake or a rope? Okay. Do whatever needs to be done. Okay. So that shall we go to the next shloka? Any questions before we start the shloka? So, so we are going to study shloka 21. So I'll first break down the words. Idamaham, that is idam and aham. Padabhikya manvaham. Pada abhikya anvaham. So it becomes padabhikya manvaham. Ahamilinake pyalaya sattaya. Ahamilinake, you can say as one word. Api alaya sattaya. So that becomes ahamilinake api alaya sattaya. Becomes ahamilinake api alaya sattaya. Okay. So one of you please go off mute and repeat after me. Idamaham padabhikyamanvaham.
इदमहं पदा अभिख्यमन्वहम्
Ahamilinake pyalaya sattaya.
अहम अहमिलीनके अप्यलयसत्तया.
So, yeah, it is a little bit complicated word for but so iham. So let's first understand these individual words, right? We said iham means sorry, idam means this. Okay, aham, of course, I. But here, so now what I he is talking about that we need to see. Okay, and pada means it is a state. Okay, so actually, padam also means abode. Okay, so pada abhikyam means it is name, but also it also means fame, etc. Anvaham means anu ahaha. So aham, this is not actually aham as itself, rather it is ahaha means day. Okay, mean anvaham means basically every day. Okay, ahamilinake aham, when aham goes to laya api, even then alaya, it doesn't go to laya sattaya because it is sat. This is the individual word meaning. So now let us understand what is happening here. Now, what was the previous shloka that we just studied? Anyone recall? This is 21st, right? What is the 20th shloka? What was the content of 20th shloka? 20th shloka, okay, it says that ahaminasha bhajya mahamtaya spurati swayam paramapurna sat. Okay, so the simple translation of the shloka is, when this aham vritti falls down, then the real I comes up, and this real I is real Parama Purna Sat. That is complete, that is supreme, and that is Sat. That's what right? So now this shloka, of course, it is 1 week since we met, right? So this idam aham, this aham is referring to this complete aham. Okay, this is this true aham. Okay, so this idam aham, so idam hrut. Okay, the core heart. Okay, this core heart means it's not, we're not talking about physical heart, we're talking about our atma spurati. Okay, that shines aham always. Aham padam. Okay, this pada, this state of aham is abhikyam. Abhikyam means it has a glory, it has got a name, it has got a splendor, okay, it has got a fame. So these are all the meanings for abhikyam. So this, the aham that arised after chopping of aham vritti is paramapurna sat, and this is the one that deserves the name aham. It deserves the fame, it deserves the glory, not this aham vritti. Okay, because ahamvriti used to merge. What happens to ahamvriti? When I'm awake, ahamvriti is there. In my dream, yes, ahamvriti is there. When I'm asleep, right? Jagrat, Swapna, Sushupti. When I go into Sushupti, what happens to aham? Okay, if someone is asleep, I mean, like say, if I am sleeping and if I'm in deep sleep, if my wife comes and calls me, there's no response. Okay, and if someone pushes me around, I won't even know. Why? Because ahamurti is not there. But on the other hand, this real aham that we are talking about, the true self, has no destruction or doesn't have any change, even in our deep sleep. Anvaham, meaning aha, okay, daily. Okay, aha means day, anvaham means every day. Okay, no matter whether I am ahamilinake api, even when I go to deep sleep, meaning when this I thought ahamvriti is going to karana sharira is what we call as deep sleep. Okay, and that's what again, if you recall Durdusha Viveka, uh, yeah, how is that deep sleep and uh, waking waking sleep and waking dreaming and deep sleep are defined? When the Ahamvriti is Purna Vikasa, it said, okay, the word that was used, Purna Vikasa, means it's fully bloom, then that state is called as Jagrata Avastha or waking state. When it is Ardha Vikasa, meaning like it is half, okay, half awake. That half awake means what is happening is that intellect goes to sleep, intellect is gone, mind alone is there. So whatever thoughts are coming, those are not being processed by intellect. So that's why like all jumbled thoughts that come, they are presented as is. So that's why like our dreams are not necessarily logical. Some dreams may be logical, but some dreams could be illogical. Okay, so that's why. So that is artha vikasa of aham vritti is swapnavastha, and when this ahankara goes in, merges into karna sharira, then that is called as sushupti avastha, deep sleep state. So when this aham ilinake api, that means when this ahankara goes to sleep, even then this laya means dissolution. Alaya means no dissolution. Okay, satyaya. So that means that this aham doesn't go to sleep. Okay, no matter whether I am awake or whether I am sleeping, or whether I am dreaming. It is always what you call like it. That's why in Tattva Bodha, what we study, it is called as Avasthatraya Sakshi. Atma is also as partial. I mean, like as part of the definition, we say Atma is Avasthatraya Sakshi. Avasthatraya means the three avasthas: waking, sleeping, and dream. It is the observing all. It is witnessing all these three states, and it is illuminating all these three states. How is it illuminating all these three states? How can you say that it is illuminating even the deep sleep? Because when I wake up, even though I don't remember what happened around me, when I'm asleep, I know that I have slept well. Okay, so how would I know I have slept well? Because of the presence of the self. Okay, so this aham. Okay, so obviously because of that, this is the one that requires, I mean, like this is the one that deserves this name, fame, glory, splendor, and this uh, uh, abhikyam. Okay, so this aham shows this nityata, purnata, which is free from all upadhis. All upadhis meaning, what are the upadhis? We have three upadhis. Uh, this Sthula, Sukshma, Karna, Sharidras are our upadhis. Remember the term upadhi? Yes, no?
Yeah.
Okay. So upadhi is essentially upasamipe sthitva. So one that is being close to it, it projects its properties on other object. So for example, if there's a light bulb and next to light bulb, okay, there's a covering around that light bulb, and this covering is a glass which is made up of red color. Then what is that light you are going to see? Red light. Okay, if this is replaced with green, then you're going to see green light. Now if it is removed, you'll see colorless light. Now the question is whether it is covered by red light or green light or no light. The actual light though is colorless only. But because of the presence of this second object close to the first object, what it is doing is that it is projecting its colorness, its properties on the other object. And as a result, this light is turning into red or green, and we are thinking that it is identifying with this other object. Okay, so similarly, our Atma, which is infinite and which is independent of these three bodies, however, because all these three shariras are so close to it, now what happened is that I associate myself with these upadhis as in my stula sharira, sukshma sharira, etc. I say my name is Venkat. Why? Because that is the name that is given to this body by parents. That's why I say Venkat. Okay. So when I say I am male, I am so many, so much age, etc. All of that is referring to this physical body, not real me. Similarly, when I say I am happy or I am sad, I am referring to the mind, not real me. And when I say I'm an engineer or I'm a doctor, etc., this is all referring to the intellect, the knowledge that is gathered by the intellect in this lifetime, and along with the memories. And we are saying like, I went to school and got the degree. And why did I get the degree? Whatever is in the books that went into this head and it stayed. So I passed an exam and now I'm certified as engineer. Right? So that's all it is, right? So all of these are not me, but they're all to this. Okay? So once we understand all of this, and this aham vritti is associated with all these three shariras, but not with our true aham. That is what this shloka is saying. Any questions on this before we move to the next shloka?
Guruji, Doesn't the Atma learn all these things? You're saying, okay, we as a person, we learn. But at the same time, our Atma learns and carries forward to the next life. That's what I have heard.
It is Jiva, not Atma, that learns. Atma is infinite, and but sometimes what happens is that there is a Jivatma. Okay, think about the term called Jivatma. Jivatma is consists of, remember, like we talked about three shariras.
Yeah,
Sukshma, Karana, Stula is the physical body.
right.
Sukshma is the subtle body. In the subtle body, we have all the mind and Indriyas, they're all there, right? Okay. And causal body is all vasanas and karma phala, right? The results of our previous action. So when someone dies, what happens is that only this physical body falls off because it has become weak. It doesn't, it cannot run anymore. Now, these two, Karna Sharira and Sukshma Sharira, they go and find another physical body.
Right.
Okay, so these two are together are called as Jiva. Okay, this Jiva is the one that is learning and unlearning, because what is happening is that when in this lifetime, let us say someone practiced music a lot. Okay, so what happened is that this Mana, Buddhi, Chitta, Ahankara, Chittas are all memories, right? The Chitta is filled with that music,
Knowledge, yeah.
yeah, the knowledge of that music. Now, when they go to the next birth, what happens is that this entire memory is erased. Okay? Entire memory is erased. But do you know, like when you all know, right? I mean, a simple example is when you cook something. I mean, like not in like this non-stick pans, but traditional pans. If you cook something greasy, right? Some fry, let us say, okay? You cook some fry and you did like so much, then no matter how much you wash it, okay? It's not a non-stick dish. But then what happens is some remains are there, yes? Even after.
Yeah.
So in the same way, what happens is that even in the next life, sometimes they may have these tendencies for music. Okay.
Okay.
So, but if nothing is erased, what happens is that I should remember everything that happened in my previous life, and I don't have to go to school again. I don't have to learn everything again, right?
Right.
But it is erased, and it is for a good reason. But now coming to your point, the Atma is independent of this jiva. Okay. Now the goal of jiva is Sukshma Sharira and Karna Sharira. Now, which body am I going to take next in my next life? If
So, yeah.
is based upon my
Yeah.
Karna Sharira. Okay, Karna Sharira is a cause, right? Now,
Yeah.
so when we said Karturajna, with the very first shloka of this book, what did we say? Karturajnaya prapyate phalam karma kim param karmata jadam, right? So Kartu is, we had defined Kartu as the, I'm just reminding you what we studied in the first class, is Kartu is one who is Karma Phala Data. Karma Phala Data means the giver of the results of our action. So that we are calling as Bhagwan. So that with that power, what it does is that this Karna Sharira, I have got so many papas, I have got so many punyam, right? I mean, like sins and merits, right? And based on this, and there are so many vasanas that are accumulated, and these vasanas need to be exhausted. So a particular body is going to be more suitable for this jiva, and that particular body could be male or female, animal or tree, okay, a higher life or a lower life, okay, where those vasanas can be exhausted. Okay. So that is how the jiva goes from one life to other life to other life. But the Atma is not going to change. There's only one Atma that is all pervasive, and that Atma is the one that is giving uh, the consciousness, or like, the life to this jiva. So our thing is that understand that I'm not only this physical body, but I'm also not this subtle body or causal body, and reject all these three. So then what happens is when we reject all these three properly, then all these three will fall off. Okay, when all these three fall off, you become one with all pervasive aham or atma or Bhagwan. That is the idea. Does that help?
Yeah. Thank you.
So,
But then,
go ahead.
when we say everything falls off and only the Atma remains,
Mhm.
then we also say that there is only one Atma or that Supreme Self. There is nothing beyond, right?
Yes.
So then here the situation that comes around is that you merge with the Supreme, or there is no such thing as my individual Atma merging with the Supreme Atma, right?
Mm. So there is no individual Atma to begin with to merge with this. So we are already one with the Supreme. However, I have somehow because of it, like I'm glad like I just talked about upadhis. I don't know if talking about upadhis raised these questions or talking about upadhis is going to help the answer answer these questions. But see, the individuality is based upon karna sharira and sukshma sharira. Okay, when karna sharira and sukshma sharira, if you drop off, there is no more individuality.
Okay,
So then when there is no individuality, there is no jiva.
all right. The individual Jiva that we refer to.
Yes. So now think about an aquarium. Okay, like an aquarium, or okay. Now in that aquarium, like an aquarium is full of water. In that aquarium, you put a small mug in the bottom. So now there's water all over the aquarium, all of inside. So there is water in the cup
Yeah.
in the aquarium. Yes. Okay. Now, can you say that the water in the cup and water outside the cup are one and the same or different?
One and the same.
But what happens is that now there's a cup, right? So now, because of the presence of the cup, the water inside the cup has a particular form,
Okay.
different than the rest of the water in the aquarium. And now, imagine this water in the cup has got some kind of a thinking capability.
Okay.
Then what does it think? I am separate. I am this cup. I am I am the water in the cup. That is the rest is water outside the cup. If you have like 10 cups, right? Oh, I am a bigger cup. You are a small cup. I am a tall cup. You are a short cup, like that, right? Now, why? The concept of upadhi. Why? Because that water is associating itself as different from rest of it because of the association with the form and shape of the cup, shape and size of the cup, right? Now, it is already one with, it is already one with rest of the water. Okay. Now, what happens when I break that cup?
It becomes one with the rest.
So, so there are two viewpoints, right? One viewpoint is that it was separate in the cup. Now that it is broken, it merged with,
The rest.
okay. So that is how when we say Jiva merged with Bhagwan. Okay. Now, if you understand that this water is already one with the rest of the water, it's not no different from the other water. Okay, that means what? You are not associating this water with identifying with the cup. When that realization comes that I am not, this cup has nothing to do with me, you know that you're already one with rest of the water, right? So at that time, there is no, it is being different, because like when I say I merge with Bhagwan, then what happens is that here is Bhagwan, I am here, and somehow I go up and merge with Bhagwan. Okay. So, but reality is that cup has nothing to do with it. Everything is the same water. Once you understand, then there's no merging. You're already one with Bhagwan. Now, that's why, what is the term we said just now? Realization, right? Realization means what? It is the rise of knowledge that I am already one with Lord. Okay, I'm already one with this infinity. Okay, right now there is a identification with this whole thing. Okay, so actually like, that exactly is the content of the next shloka. Okay, so we'll uh, read that. Okay, so I'll break down the words. Oh, before I move on, does that help, or do you have any additional questions?
No, I'm all set. Yeah, understood. Yeah, thank you.
So the first line is Vigrahendriya Pranadhitamaha. So here, Vigraha is one word, Indriya is another word, Prana, Dhi, and Tamaha. Because these five words are Vigraha, Indriya, Prana, Dhi, Tamaha. Together becomes Vigrahendriya Pranadhi Tamaha. Then, Nahameka Satta Jadam. Na aham eka sat tat jadam. Six words are there. Na aham eka sat tat jadam. Okay. Naham eka sat jadam. He asat. He asat is he asat will become together become he asat. Okay. So please repeat after me. Vigrahendriya pranadhitamaha.
विग्रहेन्द्रिय प्राणधीतमः
नाहमेकसत्तज्जडं ह्यसत्.
नाहमेकसत् तज्जडं ह्यसत्.
So actually this goes right into what we just spoke. Vigraha. Vigraha, where do you see Vigrahas?
In the temple,
Okay, so what is a Vigraha?
idol images.
Idol or image. Basically, something that has got a concrete form is Vigraha. Okay, so here Vigraha is referring to our physical body. Okay, because it has got a concrete shape. Does your mind has got a concrete shape? No.
No.
Right? That's it. Only the physical body has got the thing, right? So Vigraha, Indriyas. Indriyas,
The sense organs.
sense organs. So there could be organs of action also, right? Karmendriyas or Jnanendriyas, right? Karmendriyas or Jnanendriyas together, they're all Indriyas only. Then pranas. Okay? Pranas are like what we breathe in and breathe out. Okay? Dhi. Dhi is what?
Intellect, buddhi.
Buddhi. Dhi is buddhi, intellect. So, okay. Tamaha. Tamas, you know. Now, so he listed Vigraha, Indriya, Prana, Dhi, Tamas. Five things are listed. Na aham. So, none of these that are listed is not me. Okay. So, Vigraha is referring to physical body. Indriya and Pranas and Dhi, right? All of them belong to subtle body. Tamas belongs to causal body. So all these three bodies are not me. So Vigrahendriya Pranadhitamaha na aham. Okay, it is not self. Now, interestingly, this aham, now after aham, what follows is aham ek sat. Okay, aham ek sat means ek sat aham. That means I alone is truth. I alone is truth means what you are talking about in 20th shloka again, right? What did we study in 20th shloka? Ahaminasha bhajya aham taya surati hrut swayam paramapurna sat. That's what we studied in 20th shloka. So when this ahankara falls down, when this aham vritti falls down, the real aham will rise above, right? Think about this way, right? Like especially in India, you have basically these vigrahas, statues of politicians or even movie actors or whatever. They are there pretty much in every street corner. Now, before the construction is going on, like I mean the vigraha, okay, that sculpture is ready, but obviously it has to be inaugurated. Until it is inaugurated, what we need to do, it has to be covered. Now, when it is covered, you don't know what is inside, is a male or female. Who is it? You don't know, unless like you find out from someone, right? Now, in fact, like so something is covered like with a cloth and tied up, right? In fact, in a somewhat dark light, if you're walking in the midnight, it looks like booth. Okay, it looks scary, right? Then after the construction is complete, and then sometimes they want to call a minister to inaugurate it. And now minister, he says specifically, I want to inaugurate that. Okay, so minister said that he wants to inaugurate, and then minister says that I don't have time for next 3 months to come. So because minister said that he's going to inaugurate and nobody is going to, they cannot call anybody else to come and inaugurate. So they have to keep it covered for those 3 months. Then finally, minister gives a date. The date has come, minister has come, and then with a lot of pomp and show, that
Curtain.
curtain is removed. That curtain or that veil. When that veil is removed, that is when the real sculpture is shown. What was scaring us, scaring all the people around during night time for those 3 months, like a booth in between, suddenly it is maybe our beloved freedom fighter. Okay, so whoever that is, okay, pick your own favorite freedom fighter. It could be Mahatma Gandhi, it could be Subhash Chandra Bose or whoever, right? So now, as soon as you see, this is my role model, okay, I see him, and now we are happy. In the same way, what happened is that when this aham falls off, the real aham, that is unveiled, right? That's Surati Swayam Paramapurna Sat, right? That aham, when this aham vritti falls down, whatever that aham has come, that aham, that is the real eka, one alone. Eka it means what? It is also talking about ekatva, meaning advaita. Okay, sat aham, and sat means it exists. It exists. See, our ahankara exists only during waking and dreaming, but this aham exists in all three states: Jagra, Swapna, Sushupti, all these three states. In every change of upadhi, okay, like when this body changes, our aham vritti changes. But it is not uniform, okay, it is not same. So aham vritti cannot be sat because it doesn't exist in all these three periods of time. But this self is sat because it is same in all three periods of time. So this vigraha, indriya, prana, dhi, tamaha, na aham, we said, right? So this is what this aham vritti. So like when I dissociate myself, okay, with aham vritti, my association with vigraha, indriya, prana, dhi, tamaha, all of them also is disassociated. So why? Because right now the problem, the core problem that I have is anatmani atma buddhi and jagati satya buddhi. So anatmani atma buddhi is looking at this anatma. This anatma is not self, okay? And I'm thinking that that is my true self. What am I associating with? Vigraha, meaning this physical body, indriyas, right? I see this, I taste this very well. Okay, it is so tasty. I like this taste, right? So all of that is association with indriyas, prana, because the moment someone dies, we say he died. Okay, so that is association with prana, association with dhi, meaning intellect, association with my ajnana, the root ajnana, what I am this anatma. All of that is anatmani atma buddhi. So we are seeing self in not self. And because of that, there's a whatever I see all around, that is not me. So when what is not me is this world. So, and this world also exists and I see it. So this Jagati, this world is true, that is there. So these two are our root cause. When the ahamvritti is taken away, what happened? Now there's no more association with this
Body.
upadhi, right? Now, when there is no association with upadhi, is my aham limited to this upadhi or it is all pervasive?
All pervasive.
Because it is all pervasive, where is me versus where is Jagat? Where is the differentiation? There's only oneness. So there is no such thing as me and world. So that duality is gone. So this ahamvritti, that is why we need to get rid of this ahamvritti. Okay? And he says that tat jadam hi asat. Okay? So now whatever we talked about, vigraha, indriyas, prana, dhi, tama, all of them are inert. Okay, each of them are inert. Each of them are jadam. So that means that jadam means what? They don't have their own consciousness. Okay, they don't have their svaprakasha. Self-shiningness is not there. Okay, and they are all jada. So they are none of them are sat. None of them. Okay, and when in fact, like in Tattva Bodha, I don't know, Shobhaji, you attended, but I'm not sure if Rajiv ji attended or not. Deepaji, did you ever hear Tattva Bodha in the past?
I'm completely new.
Oh, okay. So Tattva Bodha is one of the preliminary texts of Vedanta. So there is a, when it says that Madiyam Shariram Madiyaha Pranaha Madiyam Manascha Madiya Buddhir Madiyam Ajnanam iti Svenaiva Jnayate Tad Yatha Madiyatvena Ajnatam Kataka Kundala Ruhadikam स्वस्मान् भिन्न तथा पंचकोशादिकं स्वस्मात् भिन्नं मदीयत्वेन ज्ञानमात्मान भवति. So because Tattva is prose, not necessarily shlokas. So there is a statement which says Madiyam Shariram, meaning my body, Madiyah Pranaha, my pranas, Madiyah Manascha, my mind, Madiyah Buddhi, meaning my intellect, Madiyam Ajnanam, my ignorance, all of them can be understood. Iti svenaiva jnayate tat yadha. All of them can be seen and understood, just like Madiyat Kataka Kundala. Kataka Kundala means Kataka and Kundalas are like just like bangles or earrings. Just like I say, these are my bangles, or these are my earrings, or My house, Gruha Adikam. In the same way, all of these that I'm seeing are also mine. Then he says, whatever is mine is not me. That's the important part. Whatever is mine is not me. This is my watch. Because this is my watch, I am not this watch. This is mine. Okay. The shirt is mine, closer to me than this watch. Okay. The watch is far, shirt is closer. And I get angry if someone pours something on my shirt. I may even yell at them, like if in a restaurant or something like that. Let's say a server pours something and say, "Oh, you ruined my shirt," and all of that, right? And I feel bad. But still, the shirt is not me. Just like that, the shirt is not me. This watch is not me. This house is not me. Whatever is mine, like this body is mine, hence it is not me. These pranas are mine, hence it is not me. So body is referring to, this is like, here in this case, there's a progression. Shariram is referring to the Annamaya Kosha. Pranas are referring to Pranamaya Kosha. Madhiya Manascha, okay, mind is referring to Manomaya Kosha. Madhiya Buddhi, that is referring to Vijnanamaya Kosha. Madhyam Ajnanam, referring to Anandamaya Kosha. All these Panchakoshas are not me. Okay, so I am separate from these Panchakoshas. So Panchakoshas are a different way of looking. See, earlier we talked about three bodies, right? Stula Sharira, Sukshma Sharira, Karna Sharira. Panchakoshas are slightly different way of categorizing. Okay, Annamaya Kosha is the physical body. Pranamaya is our physiological, which is like breathing, etc. Manomaya is mind and Indriyas. Vijnanamaya is intellect and Indriyas together. And Anandamaya is our Karna Sharira. So all of them are known to me and hence they are not me. So this is the idea. And now what he said is that in our Vedanta, I just want to check what's time. Oh, sorry, we already spent 5 extra minutes. Sorry about that. So we'll pause here. But in our Vedanta, there's a concept of Sat, Mithya, and Asat. Now, we will talk a little bit more about it. Why he is calling this as all of these are Asat, okay, and not Mithya in our next session. So if you have any questions, I'll address. Otherwise,
Yeah.
we will close.
But isn't Mithya and Asat the same then here?
Yes, they will be same, but they are also, depending upon the categorization, they can be different and they can be same. Okay, so that is something that we'll talk in our next session. Okay. I can spend time, but I want to
We can do it next
your
time.
time. So, okay, so we'll close. Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om Sri Gurubhyo Namaha Harihi Om.
Thank you so much.